Welcome to the KX Country Clubhouse. Hunter Brothers, JJ, Ty, Brock, Dusty, and Luke. Where are we speaking to you from? We all look like we're being held in captivity somewhere, but
haven't we all been for the last 2 months?
Absolutely. It's crazy.
We're in actually our rehearsal shop. It used to be our mechanic shop here on the farm, and we converted it into a rehearsal space, a studio. We store our merchandise and have a lot of our meetings here. So behind us is the drum set and the risers, and we're right on stage where we do our rehearsing.
Hey, maybe you could change my snow tires. I still haven't been able to get in to do that.
Absolutely. Bring them all
Got
by.
you covered.
Yeah.
This is a crazy time, guys. We got a lot to get to, and I know you're very busy, but first of all, we just want to congratulate you on all your success. And the new single, Hard Dirt. It's an inspirational song. It really is. When you listen to it, the words dig deeper. When the going gets tough, there's no water, look for water, the rain, all that. Tell us about the song and how it all came to be.
Yeah, so I mean, there's so many dimensions to this song, and what's been really cool is the whole process has actually really reflected the lyrics and the musicality, in the sense that it's taken a period of time for every element to come together just as it needed to. We actually, when we recorded it, had no idea what was going to be happening. We sensed that we wanted something of lyrical depth and something that was going to speak to the soul a little more. And then everything emerged on the other side of recording it. It really affirmed that this was the single that we needed to go with. And while it is a song that speaks to struggle, we really wanted to emphasize the hope element of it, because struggle makes you stronger. And so seeing ahead, seeing forward, and seeing what could be, and not just being caught up in what is right now. And so I think that's a really important message for all of us to remember, just given the circumstances. And whether it was the musical side of things, we wanted a gradual build, and that reflects the lyrics of the song, being that struggle is a process, it makes you stronger. And the artwork also reflects human growth. It's a fingerprint tree, and there's a lot of dimensions to that as well. And so we were really, really excited about releasing this song, but then when everything unfolded, like I said, it just really affirmed that this was the direction we needed to go. And so we're just really hoping that it resonates with everybody out there.
Well, it certainly did with me, and I know our listeners will love it. The fingerprint tree was a brilliant idea. Whose idea was that? That was brilliant.
Thank you. It actually was, again, a process. The artwork, we had to wrestle through exactly what it was going to be. How many pieces of artwork, guys, did we go through? Like honestly, we probably went through hundreds of different pieces of artwork and ideas, and just really had to wrestle. And then all of a sudden, this fingerprint tree emerged, and we went, I think this is the one. And because it reflected two sides of the equation, what we were kind of talking about is this song, a lot of analogies and metaphors are used through nature. And so there's a lot of relevance for us being farmers and being out in the plants. We were just coming off of a season in seeding time here. But then the song also speaks to people and human growth. So then when finally it seemed like those two ideas finally came together in that way, we knew that that was the right one. And so there's a lot of actually pieces and detail within the artwork that we can elaborate on if we want to right now, but we don't need to, because it's a whole kind of story in and of itself.
Yeah, it was a neat thing how the artwork kind of came together, because it draws a metaphor to our farming roots, which was neat. And so we wanted growth and dirt or something, of that nature, obviously, because it speaks to that. But it's not only about that, it's about humans and growth and that sort of thing. Well, just to make it that side. And so the way that the two emerged when it finally came together, we were all just like, that is exactly what we want to portray.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect fit. It also, to me, goes to, first of all, the way you were raised. We know you were raised that way, a family, and everyone pulls together and works together when times are tough. But don't you think also, for those who aren't aware about your hockey backgrounds, and someone who's played a lot of hockey in their life, it teaches you as well teamwork and digging. Even when it looks like you're down by 4 goals with 4 minutes left, you can still tie the game up and win the thing in overtime. This is kind of the situation we're in right now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's so important that we know that we're not alone in that. And growth is a process, but it's one that's usually done collectively and communally together. And though that looks, everybody's situation is different. We didn't grow up maybe like everybody did in the city, but at the same time, there is that element of connectivity and I think challenging each other. And that's something that we learned from playing hockey. In fact, we were just talking about that the other day of what were some of the lessons learned from hockey. And I think now being away from the game, that's one of the things reflecting back that I cherish the most about it. The game was fun. The skills were fun. The crowds were fun. That was wonderful. But I think the thing that I miss the most, and I think the guys would agree as well, is it's that unification process of, however many different individuals sitting in a dressing room, but all striving towards a common goal and pulling a rope. You've got this goal of making the playoffs or winning a championship, and guys challenging each other to be better, whether it's in practice or in games. And that collective working towards something is something that is really special. And I think that taught us a lot in hockey, but it also has been good for us growing up as brothers, because we are different. We're different individuals. We have different skill sets. We got different opinions. But when you try to merge those together, there can be tough times. There can be conflict or stuff that arises out of it. But when you work towards what Ty was alluding to earlier, that hope on the other side that, hey, if we can put these pieces together, work together towards something, we're going to be better for it in the end.
All right, quickly, each one of you, who's going to win the cup this year? If we play hockey.
It's such a gong show right now.
Boston?
I don't know. I mean, Boston had the best regular season before everything hit, but I mean, who knows? How does Boston come out of? They're a little bit of an older team. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Where the younger guys going to be able to hop back in and get right back into game shape easier? Teams that are a little bit younger, is it going to play in any advantage? What hub city it happens to play it in? I mean, I would like Edmonton to win. I kind of have my doubts, but that would be great.
I'm rooting for Tampa Bay just because one of my close best friends that I grew up with, Braden Coburn, plays for them, and so I'm always rooting for them.
Actually, I would echo Dusty's sentiment as far as Boston. That's I'd like to see Boston. I haven't traditionally been a Boston Bruins fan by any means, but I will say this: the Shaunavon Badgers here, we have basically their same colors and jerseys and logos, so it kind of feels like home. So I'll hang with Boston.
Right on. So what else is next for you guys? The new singles we mentioned, Hard Dirt. Is that coming from a new project?
Well, we're in the works of making new music right now. We have new music in the wings, and I think we talked about it. We decided that Hard Dirt was the beginning of a new era, but we didn't want to disclose too much because there's a lot of new things that are coming in the future, but it's also progressively evolving as the industry changes and morphs. So we're figuring that out as we go, but we do have projects on the run for sure.
What about live performances? Everybody's missing that. Every artist we speak to, they really, really miss it. How do you hone your skills or keep up your skills that you've already established by being live on stage? Is there any way to, continue doing that?
Well, just a funny side story. Ty mentioned new music. We were in the studio 2 days ago. You mentioned too that we got a studio right here on the farm, and we do a lot of work in that. And we changed our whole. We were working, remotely with another guy, and his idea was to grab a mic and rather than stand in a vocal booth just statically singing, we actually grabbed an SM57, and Ty was just like all over the room, up, down, sitting,
right on.
We've got some video clips of him, waving his arms, and he finished. He's like, I can't believe how much I've missed this, but it was actually really fun to kind of captivate that live feel in the studio. And so, yeah, we're really missing it. We long for the day when we can get back on stage and we can perform, and it's the people too, the activity with the fans and everybody that comes out and encourages, we miss that. But we're looking forward to the day when we can do it again.
We've got a whole crew of family, and between all of us all together, we have a little fan base. So we just set up in our rehearsal studio here and put them all out there and practice singing to them. So
that's the crowd. Right on. What about, I just want to briefly mention, Just Wanted You to Know. I love the song, A Song of Inspiration. You guys did a great job. One of those things that kind of went viral a little bit. That was done in Nashville. Is that correct, that song?
Yeah, it was. We actually,
It was written.
it was written in Nashville. We didn't
Right.
record the vocals in Nashville when we were on that same trip that I was talking to you about before.
Right.
We had done 2 weeks of writing when we were down there, right, guys? 2 weeks. And it was the last day that Just Wanted You to Know emerged. It was an inspiration that kind of came actually the night before at about 11 o'clock at night. Something was just stirring in the soul, stirring in the heart, and it came up the next day, and it evolved into this this song that really speaks to somebody who's hurting for somebody else, but also the person who's hurting and what they're going through, that circle of empathy that happens. And we didn't really know what was happening down the road once again. And so when COVID emerged, when the tornado touched down in Nashville, when life events were just rolling out one after the other, we just talked about it as brothers and said, we really think that we need to just put this out there. It's not a single, it's not anything, it's not in the plan. But I think moments like this for artists, it's a time when they go to work and when they can maybe release things, not always in the most traditional way, but just because it feels like it's what's needed to be said at the time. And so that's how that kind of came about. And we recorded the song from our respective households and just really hoped that it would connect with people out there.
So finally, are you used to the new way that we're doing things here, the interviews? Or do you like seeing yourself on camera? Personally, I don't. I mean, now I'm going to start selling advertising on my forehead here, but I didn't realize we could do that. But no, are you used to this?
I don't know if used to it would be the right word. I mean, we have done a lot of Zoom meetings, and so I guess we're more accustomed to it than we were when it all first started.
We miss the human fellowship.
Yeah, that's something that we really value. Is I mean, that's been kind of the mark of how we've done things is doing things together and with people, and we're used to being around, whether it's family or friends or whatever. And one of the reasons why we love the music aspect. I mean, there's many reasons why we love it, but that was one of the things, was just the opportunity to interact with people. And so, yeah, we really miss that, and I don't think we're not ashamed to say that we still miss that. Saying that, life happens and you have to make adjustments, and that's part of the process of it. And so, we're still thankful that we get to do this. How special it is that we can still connect with you, with people all over, even though we can't be there in person. And that's a special thing. We're glad that we have that ability to do it still.
I don't think we'll ever like it because our Wi-Fi out here is so terrible. Yeah.
I hear you. But listen, it's been a pleasure having the Hunter Brothers on with us, everybody. And thank you. Stay safe, guys. And I hope to see you really soon in person.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.